Poland and Hungary block progress on migration at the EU summit.
A Russian missile strike kills a 10-year-old boy and his grandmother in Kharkiv in northeastern Ukraine.
The informal European summit in Granada ended in impasse as the 27 EU leaders could not find an agreement on migration. Earlier, Hungary and Poland were heavily critical of the fact that talks on the new migration pact are advancing despite their opposition. Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban Friday morning shocked everyone by saying, legally, we are being raped. So after hours and hours of talks between heads of states and governments, Budapest and Warsaw blocked the joint declaration on the matter, so it was only the President of the European Council that could make a statement.
On doit effectivement mieux protéger les frontières extérieures de l'Union européenne. On doit être en soutien des pays qui sont en première ligne pour protéger les frontières de l'Union européenne. Et on doit être plus actif, plus opérationnel pour démanteler les groupes criminels qui abusent des détresses, qui abusent des vulnérabilités. Parce que ce ne sont pas ces groupes criminels qui doivent décider qui a le droit ou pas d'accéder au territoire européen.
Leaders agreed to strengthen cooperation on technology, defence, energy independence and the engagement of the EU with the rest of the world. On the enlargement of the bloc, the EU27 called on candidate countries to speed up reforms. The President of the European Commission reiterated that there is no fast-track entry into the EU.
The accession process to the European Union is a merits-based one. This was very clear also today in our discussion. No shortcuts, no automated accession to the European Union. It's merits-based.
On the day before the EU summit, Granada hosted the biggest annual gathering of EU and non-EU countries of the continent called the European Political Community. But breakthrough was missing on key conflicts like the Nagorno-Karabakh in the Caucasus and the one between Serbia and Kosovo.
Con esta cumbre informal de líderes de la Unión Europea finalizan aquí en Granada los 2 días de encuentros internacionales. 2 citas en las que, a pesar de que se han reunido más de 50 presidentes y primeros ministros, se han cerrado sin avances claros y con pocos resultados. Eso sí, han servido para reforzar el papel internacional del actual presidente del Gobierno en funciones de España, Pedro Sánchez, que se encuentra negociando su investidura. Aida Sánchez Alonso, Euronews, Granada.
A Russian missile attack killed a 10-year-old boy and his grandmother on Friday in Kharkiv in northeastern Ukraine. The strike also wounded an 11-month-old child, the Interior Ministry said, and around 30 others were also injured. In response, Moscow said it never targets civilians in Ukraine.
На кімнаті на 3-му поверсі було виявлено тіло загиблого хлопчика приблизно 10 років. Пошукові роботи продовжуються.
On Thursday, in the village of Hroza, another missile attack killed 52 people. Officials believe Russia used 2 Iskander missiles in both attacks.
Загинули брат, невістка і мама.
Скільки їм було років?
Брат 75-го року, невістка 80-го і мама 58-го.
UN High Commissioner for Human Rights, Volker Turk, who saw for himself the horrific impact of such strikes, is profoundly shocked and condemns these killings. He's deployed a field team to the site to speak to survivors and gather more information.
Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov denied on Friday that Russia was responsible for the attack on Hroza and repeated that civilians are never targeted.
US President Joe Biden has raised the prospect of a meeting with his Chinese counterpart, Xi Jinping. He said nothing had been arranged, but a face-to-face encounter may be possible on the sidelines of next month's Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation Summit in San Francisco. China's blossoming relationship with Russia is just one of several sources of tension between Washington and Beijing. The proposed meeting would be the first between Biden and Xi since the Chinese leader was hosted by Vladimir Putin in Moscow.